finally did it. Hey! So you're finally here! Fantastic!
Welcome back, trainers, and the time has finally come for Season 1 Regionals in the Silph Arena for Pokemon Go. This is all going down May 10th to the 26th, and I'm pretty excited to talk about this. So let's go ahead and get into the information that they have provided us, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the Pokemon that you're going to probably be seeing at a lot of these tournaments here, because it's going to be open season. Basically, every single cup that we had, all of those types, combined it into one. You'll be able to pick and choose throughout all of them. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over how you're going to be getting invited to one of these in the first place. So we know that you have to be good, but how good do you have to be to actually get this invitation? Well, at this point, we do not know quite yet, but I can guarantee you this: if you did rank, say, first 3 times out of these tournaments, you're more than likely definitely going to be getting an invitation. Now, say you did rank 3rd in pretty much all of them except for, say, 1. I would say that's pretty decent as well. It's more than decent. That's pretty good. And seeing that they're going to need a good amount of people to actually show up to these, I would assume that you're almost and probably going to be getting invited as well. Now, as far as myself, I would assume I'm going to get an invitation. If I don't, I'm going to be quite surprised. And they're going to have probably like 4 people there if they don't. So it's going to be pretty interesting because you're going to have the best of the best. Now let's go ahead and go over what they have to say here. The Silph Arena's first regional invitation tournament will begin May 10th in cities around the world. So there's going to be a limited amount here. And I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, let's go. Anchorage was fortunate to have one. So we're looking great, guys. Yeah, this is, I have very happy about this. I don't have to travel to participate in a tournament, which I was thinking to myself, I don't think so. I don't think I would be able to do that. But since we have it here, we are good to go. But there's more news, so let's go on. The fiercest competitors in the arena have begun to emerge from communities far and wide. On May 1st, these talented traders will receive an invitation via email, invisible when logging into the Silph GG. So that's going to be where you go to do your tournaments and all that stuff. So if you do have a Silph Arena account, you will be able to go in there to fight for the Regionals title. If they succeed, they will earn the region glory and a coveted invitation to compete in the World Championships. I mean, this is getting pretty serious over here. Holy cow. So we have World Championships in the works for the people who can emerge victorious out of these regional fights. So this is looking pretty exciting. Honestly, this is something that I've always dreamt of for Pokemon. As far as Pokemon Go, it's amazing. The PvP is great. I enjoy it. It's just, I always dreamt of going to regionals for the main series games. It's just the whole travel and all that stuff. Anyways, moving on here. What else do they have to say? We know how you're going to get invited to some degree. As far as how well you had to perform, we're just going to have to wait and see on that, to be honest with you. And I'm very excited to see all the people here in Anchorage who are going to be getting their invitation. All right, so we did go over that top bit of information just now. Let's go ahead and go over the bottom half. During the regional competition, May 10th through the 26th, Silph League regional host communities will host an invite-only regional competition using the free Silph Road GG tools in 177 cities around the world. So, like I said, one of our cities was actually selected, so I will be in it, right? Winning one of these regional competitions are guaranteed an invite to the Silph Arena World Champions at GoFest Chicago and GoFest Dortmund, plus a 3rd competition on one more continent to be announced. So that's very interesting here. So people who can travel freely and are very big into PvP, this is like golden for you. This is just right. So pretty cool that they're going to be hosting these at GoFest as well as Dortmund here. And another one to be announced. Very interested to see what they have to say in that. So 177 places around the world is where you're going to be able to possibly go to. If you get one of these invites, hopefully you have one near you, so you will be able to travel there and compete. All right, now let's go ahead and go over the rules here. The Season 1 regional tournament follows standard arena rules, but brings over a dozen Pokemon types. Competitors may use a Pokemon that was or would now be eligible in the Boulder, Twilight, Tempest, or Kingdom Cup. This includes Pokemon with at least one type of Ground, Rock, Steel, Fighting, Dark, Poison, Fairy, Ghost, Ice, Electric, Flying, Fire, and Dragon. Dual type Pokemon are allowed only if they include at least one of the above types. So they said nothing about using legendaries or certain Pokemon being banned. It's basically a free-for-all, at least if they have one of these types. That's pretty much all you're going to have to be looking for here. Moving along, competitors will bring a team of 6 Pokemon and register them before the tournament begins, like standard tournament rules. All battle parties used must be comprised of at least 6 Pokemon. Matches are played in Great League. Only Pokemon up to 1500 CP permitted in the cup. Only one of each Pokemon species is permitted on the team of 6. So there you have it, folks. Pretty standard, right? So we're going to be able to pick from all those types as you've seen above there. We're going to go over to Poke PvP to take a look at the top Pokemon that you can be using here. And I'm going to tell you this, Medicham. Skarmory, those things coming back to haunt us again. So pretty happy I do have a 100 Medicham completely maxed out, so that's going to be nice. And here we go again with Pokemon that you are investing in and thinking you're only going to use a couple of times. That's not the case for a lot of them that are going to be high up on the meta list, right? They're going to keep making an appearance for these cups once in a while, so just take note of that. You're not really going to be losing too much investing in them because it's going to be, as a matter of fact, a great investment, so you'll be able to use them again and again, kind of like my Skunk Tank and, pretty much all of the Pokemon that I have basically at this point. That's why for the Nightmare Cup, I'm pretty much already set. I did invest a little bit, like about 100,000, because I just wanted to power up Pokemon that are not going to be meta relevant as well, just to have on the side for practice rounds, just to see how well they're going to be running. So there you have the rules here. All right, so before we hop into PvP Poke and check out the complete top meta list, we're going to go ahead and look through my Pokemon that will be able to enter and are eligible for the championship. Granted, I do get an invite. Really hoping I do. That'd be pretty depressing if I don't. Anyways, as you can see, I do have 1500 CP, 3 of them at the top there. We're not going to go over all the Pokemon you don't want to use. We're just going to kind of brush through my current list here and talk about some of the top metas. So we do see Altaria here, which will probably be making an appearance with a few of these trainers going in because it is kind of tanky. Dragon Breath is amazing, as well as Sky Attack, doing a good amount of damage to a lot of Pokemon. Can get walled by a lot of things as well, so that is something to take note of, and also being taken down quite fast using Ice-type Pokemon. So Altaria is definitely going to be on the list there. And I'm not saying I'm going to be using it. I'm just saying these are going to be things that you're probably going to see and other people are going to be using. And another Pokemon that you will probably be seeing quite often in these championships is probably going to be Azumarill here. Bubble gaining quite a bit of energy for those charge moves, as well as a massive amount of tankiness to it. Being a water and fairy type is putting it on a pretty balanced level here. Although it's going to have things to look out for sure, but still it's looking pretty good. All right, so Azumarill, definitely happy I powered that one up, and it was a good investment. Unfortunately, it's not my shiny, or I don't have a shiny yet. Do have one on reserve that I'm going to be trading with a local trainer in the future, but we need to build up that friendship. Anyways, moving on here, there's Dragonite, but no, there's no room for that. You have Lugia. Is that something? I mean, it can find usability, but it's a great Pokemon that you can put in the Great League if you're lucky enough to get it there. Mine is an amazing shiny and everything, but just because it's a legendary doesn't mean it's going to be top-notch for this cup, going in with these championship-style Pokemon and complete top metas. So moving along here, we do have Skarmory. This is definitely going to be another Pokemon you're going to be seeing people use because of its amazing tankiness, because of its defense. It doesn't have the most stamina around. It's not horrible, but its defense is where it's really shining. Plus that Steel type, it's making it amazing to resist quite a bit of Pokemon. With that Air Slash, Sky Attack, Flash Cannon, you're looking pretty good. You'll be able to kind of spam your opponent with those Sky Attacks, as we all know how Skarmory works, right? And it will be winning a match going up against Altaria, although there's so many different Pokemon that you're going to have to be worrying about. It's not just the Altaria. You also have that Medicham, which is going to be basically on the top list for a lot of situations, right? Moving it along here, unfortunately, we never seen Scizor make an appearance on the top meta for any of these cups. Really like this Pokemon, but as far as using it in this, I don't really think it's going to be happening too much. We do have Victreebel here. Now, something you need to focus on are the moves of these Pokemon. That is going to be absolutely key. Razor Leaf Pokemon are going to be dominating. Well, a lot of the times. They can, and they also can get walled for sure. But Razor Leaf, as we know, is an amazing, strong attack. Okay, and as far as the moves that I have on this one, Acid Spray, Leaf Tornado, just ignore that. Leaf Blade is what you're going to be wanting to look for on a lot of these Pokemon. And then, of course, you have Melmetal. If you did make that steep investment, this one is going to be looking great. I do have a secondary move purchased if I so choose to use it. Once the deep meta starts to form and we see all the Pokemon that people are going to be continuously using over and over again, I'll be able to safely say, okay, well, Melmetal is something I probably want to go in here with. Moving on to the next one here, we do have Skunk Tank, which is always pretty good. It's going to have one weakness, and that's going to be ground. We do have Poison Jab, Sludge Bomb, and Crunch currently on this one. Thinking about switching up those moves for the Nightmare Cup, but Skunk Tank was a great investment. A little steep, not too bad, but what really broke the bank was going to be that Drapion for sure. Moving down the list here, there's a plethora of different Pokemon, and we can go over very specifics here and there, but it's just like very up in the air at this point as to what you're going to really want to use. We do have this Pokemon. I mean, it's pretty good, right? It's Powdered Snow, Body Slam, very spammy, so it can put in work, although you need to look out for those Steel type Pokemon. This is going to be something you will be able to combat those Alterias with, and even possibly going up against Azumarill. It's not going to be very effective with that Bubble, as well as Ice Beam's not very effective. It's going to have to hit you with Play Rough if it wanted to do damage. Other than that, your Powdered Snow is not going to be doing much damage to it as well. But on the flip, Body Slam will be able to be spammed onto that Azumarill. Alright, it is going to be Ice type, so Medicham is going to destroy it, period, right? We have Steelix, which is always amazing. It's always throwing me off ever since they changed how big it is. It looks like a tiny little snake now. Alright, so we have Dragon Tail, Crunch, and Earthquake. Heavy Slam is also fantastic to go up against Pokemon. They're going to be weak to that, one being Ice type Pokemon, or if you wanted to hit for neutral. Although Earthquake is still pretty good. Alright, with Dragon Tail, it doesn't take that long to charge up, and it does hit fairly hard for 100. Well, let's go over here for 120 damage even in PvP. So Steelix is something on the radar for sure. It's not going to be in your top, but it is definitely there. We have Shiftry with Razor Leaf, Leaf Blade, and Foul Play is another good Pokemon. And it's just the Razor Leaf users, like I said, we have to look out for, as well as possibly these counter Pokemon. Hitmonchan, it's great. You know, it has Power Up Punch, fantastic. But you have Medicham, right? You have Medicham, and that's it, period, right? So if I do look at this one here, unfortunately, it's not going to be Legacy. Raichu's not on the top meta whatsoever. I just want to go over that really quick and look at it. We do have Quagsire, which I know it's going to be on the top for sure. We have Mudshot, Earthquake, and Stone Edge. Mudshot gaining massive amounts of energy to charge those single charge moves. So it's not so bad that it has those single charges in the first place. So on top of charging them quick, you'll be also dealing out massive damage with them. And it's a fairly bulky Pokemon all around. It is going to be extremely weak to grass. And there's where you got to pick up those Razor Leaf users, possibly, right? And then moving down here, you've seen the Swampert performance that I've used going into some of these cups here, Mudshot, Earthquake, and Surf. Although you do have Marsh Stomp, which is going to be probably preferred over Swampert because it will be able to get off Mud Bomb, as opposed to Earthquake is going to be taking a lot more energy. But doing plenty of tests, Swampert can get off Surf faster than Marsh Stomp, so take note of that. We'll be getting down to that here in just a moment. Of course, we have Lucario with Counter, Power Punch, and Shadow Ball. Oh yeah, as far as it being on the top for all of these typings, because there's, it's going to be tricky, right? It's going to be quite tricky. We have Hitmonchan, which I just currently powered up. I did take a look at the list, and I saw it up there a few times. It wasn't going to be like, super high on the top meta, but it is making an appearance because it does have Counter. And Counter in PvP is just absolutely crazy. You do also have Flygon here with Mudshot, which will be granting you massive amounts of energy yet again. And if you did make that investment with the secondary move, and you're kind of like, man, I don't know if I should have really done that, it's okay. It's great, all right? Flygon is absolutely fantastic, and that investment was well worth it. It will be making appearances, I'm sure, yet again in future cups, and may even find some relevancy for the championship. Then we have Lantern, which is going to be used for the championships. I'm not going to say like on everybody's team, but it is going to have a presence there for sure. Water Gun, Thunderbolt, and Hydro Pump. So you can go with Charge Beam, which will be gaining you a lot more energy to get off Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump. I personally like to run the Water Gun simply because it does a lot of damage. The energy gain isn't the worst, but it's not going to be as good as Charge Beam for sure. But Charge Beam can put you in a bit of a jam. Say if you're going up against a Steelix, for instance, you're not going to be doing any damage. And if you can get to that Thunderbolt, great. But that Steelix doesn't have to shield it up. It's going to take you a minute to finally get to that Hydro Pump. In which case, if they have no more shields, you will be able to, basically, wipe it out. But if I do have Water Gun, I will be able to cover that problem right there. I'll be able to do super effective damage and a lot of damage without having to worry about getting to that Hydro Pump. That's just my thoughts. It's depends on the situation that you have, right? Then we have Charizard, which it's a pretty good Pokemon. Very frail. It can't take hits whatsoever, but it does do massive damage with Blast Burn, as well as it can spam Dragon Claw. So not looking too bad for that right there. And then we have Roserade, another Razor Leaf user, right? It's, not too sure where this is going to land on the top metas, but yet again another Razor Leaf, right? Glade, we're going to skip Glade for now. And then moving on, we have Hariyama, another counter Pokemon, very good with Heavy Slam and Dynamic Punch. All right. Then we have Toxicroak here, another counter user. It's going to have to look out for those Confusion or Psychic users because it does go down in like 3 Confusions, and it hurts quite significantly, seeing that it's going to be a Poison and Fighting type. So another Pokemon on the radar for sure. And then we go to Tropius here. This is going to be your King Razor Leaf user. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's going to be up there. So if you do have one of these powered up for the Great League with a secondary move purchased, very steep investment, but well worth it. Because if you are in a mirror match up against another grass type Pokemon, you will be able to hit it up with Aerial Ace, doing super effective damage as opposed to not very effective with your Leaf Blade and stuck in that situation, right? So Tropius is probably going to be on that list for sure. We have Alola Ninetales, which it's proven to be worthy in a lot of situations, with that Powdered Snow granting you quite a bit of energy, and then you have that Thundershock to spam your opponents over and over again. Unless you're going up against a Steel type Pokemon or a Dark type Pokemon, you should be okay. But if they did have a Dark type out there and you were able to get to that Dazzling Gleam, you're going to be looking pretty good. So Alola Ninetales, it's not going to be your best, but it's not your worst either. Moving down here, let's see. I mean, we have Breloom, yeah, another counter. It does go up against Skarmory. It's going down, down, down. So it's up to you, because Grass and Fighting are both going to be weak to Flying type, and this thing is frail as it is. So it does a lot of damage, but at the same time, it can't take hits for anything. So we do have Drapion here. It works in specific cups. As far as the championship, it could possibly be okay. It could. We'll see. Then we have Venusaur, which will be great. Now, you could run Razor Leaf, or you could run Vine Whip. As we know, the Razor Leaf is going to be extremely strong here. Taking a look at this one here. What would you want to go with, Tropius or Venusaur? They're completely different types. I mean, not completely. They're both grass. One's grass flying, one's grass poison. Venusaur has bulk to it, and it does also have poison. It's going to be weak to Psychic, so something to take note of. I like to run Vine Whip because I will be able to get a lot of energy and spam my opponent with Frenzy Plant over and over, or possibly Sludge Bomb if they're not going to be weak to grass or resisting it. Bastiodon, before we go over Medicham, is going to be on the top, right? It is going to be on the top meta for sure. Because of its bulkiness, it's just so crazy with defense that it can just take hits, even if it's weak to them. Even if they're fighting moves, it's still going to be able to at least hold on a little bit longer and possibly get off that Flamethrower, right? Or Stone Edge in that case. So Smackdown, Stone Edge, Flamethrower, that's what I have running on this one here. Fantastic. I didn't use it in my last cup for the Kingdom because I didn't want to go in there with every top meta relevant Pokemon. I wanted to switch it up just a little bit, bring the notch down, challenge myself. I was able to get second, and the first place user was going in there with Bastiodon as well as Lucario and Altaria. So next time around, I'm not going to be messing around. I probably will be taking this because we do have yet again another Kingdom Cup that I'll be participating in. So there is the Bastiodon, absolutely fantastic. Now, here we go. Final one. After this, we'll go to PvP Poke to take a look. And it's going to be Medicham. This is going to be 100. Not too sure if you're going to be able to see this because of the cropping here. We have Simply Amazing, HP, Attack, Defense. Wow. 1431, that is 100% IV. Medicham, right there. So we do have Psycho Cut. Let's get rid of that. We don't want Psycho Cut. It's great. It'll gain you a lot of energy fairly quick, so you can get off that Power Punch over and over and over again, or Ice Punch, depending if you're going up against I don't know, a possibly Dragon type, part Flying. So super effective. Bam, right there, right? They try to counter you. So Medicham is absolutely amazing, and don't mean to brag about this or anything, but I did say back in the day before PvP even came into Pokemon Go, I said Medicham is going to be one of these Pokemon that you're going to want to have for when we do get battles with other trainers. It's going to be great if we did receive different leagues, and we received different leagues, and Medicham is ruling in the Great League. So there you have it, with that fighting and psychic type as well. The thing is absolutely amazing. So I'm happy I have this thing. I'm happy I powered it up. You know what's funny too? Let me tell you something. Before they announced PvP, months before, I powered this thing up, and people are like, every time I power something up that's a little odd, like specifically this one here, they're like, why do you waste your Stardust? I really question you in your decisions in powering up Pokemon. Like powering up Persian as well. It's actually pretty good in PvP with that scratch for sure. But the Pokemon that we're talking about is Medicham. And, you know, they would say things like, why did you do that? Why would you waste your Stardust? You could have invested in something else. This is why I watch other people, because you invest in bad Pokemon. It's like, what? What are you talking about? This game is made for you to enjoy. If you want to power something up that you like, you go ahead and do so. If you have an idea if something's going to be good in the future, or you have a Pokemon that you just want to max out that's not going to reach a high CP potential, or you wanted to use it in a raid for whatever reason, or possibly go into gym battles with it, like I was doing, then you do it. All right? Don't worry about what's meta relevant. If you're low on Stardust, then yes, it's a different story. You need to pick and choose what you're going to be powering up. But for the most part, you go with what you like, right? And I went with this one here. I knew it. I had a feeling, and now we're here. Medicham, King, and 100. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop into PvP Poke, see what we have for the top meta fairly quick. Alrighty, so we are finally over here on PvP Poke. I will be leaving a link to their website in the description. So starting it off, we have overalls, right? We have Medicham at the top, Azumarill, Altaria, Quagsire, Skarmory, Wishcash, which we didn't go over. I need to make one of those. Venusaur, there it is. Sableye, I just need to get that lucky friend, and we have 2 shinies to trade. I will be completely maxing that out, but I just want a shiny one. If I can't finally get one by this time, then I may consider it, but I'm not too sure how well Sableye is going to perform overall here. But as we can see, number 8, then we have Swampert, which is actually beating Marshtomp. So very interesting there. Tropius, Lucario, Bastiodon, Melmetal, Machamp, Frostlass, Hitmonchan. There's Hitmonchan. Yeah, let's go. Bronzong, Lugia, which is actually making an appearance above the 20 marker. So that's pretty good. Steelix, there it is. Hitmontop, Lantern, there it is. Haunter, very interesting. Mantane, Charizard, Toxicroak, finally. Umbreon, Lapras, finally again. Spiritomb, Dragonair, Noctowl. Haven't seen anybody use that. It's very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Glade, Dragonite, Fortress, and then it's just, the list is going down. So there you go. We don't need to go farther there. That's going to be for overall. Let's go ahead and take a look at leads. So we have Medicham with a score of 100 yet again. So Medicham, Counter, Power Punch, and Ice Punch is exactly what I have. And that's why we switched that Psycho Cut there. Then we have Skarmory, Azumarill, Altaria, Sableye, Lucario, Wishcash, Hitmonchan. Yes, I love seeing Hitmonchan up there. Then we have Haunter, Bastiodon, Melmetal, Bronzong, Golbat, Umbreon, Noctowl, Charizard, Mantane, Lugia, yet again, sweet, Hitmonchan, and Alolan Marowak. And then Castform Sunny. Weather Ball. Yeah, if you didn't know that, I made a video discussing that. You can TM them to receive the weather move, Weather Ball, and it will be for that type. So if it's ice, it'll be ice type. If it's water, water. So yeah, the Sunny form is actually pretty good. I used it going up against a local trainer who always uses it, and the thing is actually pretty magnificent. So those are leads for you. Now for closers, we have Azumarill, Altaria, Venusaur, Quagsire, Skarmory, Wishcash, Frostlass, Tropius, and make sure you're paying attention to all their moves, okay? There's a Razor Leaf and counters all over. Bastiodon, Noctowl, yet again. What's with the Noctowl? So Wing Attack, Sky Attack, and Psychic. So it's on the top. Doesn't mean it's gonna be one of the best. You have that Bastion to counter it pretty hard. But then again, we could say that about Altaria too, but it's still number 2, right? So there are some of the closers. Let's go just straight attackers. Medicham. Wow. Yet again. Here we go. There it is. Azumarill, Tropius, Skarmory, Bastiodon, Wishcash, Gloom, Umbreon, and then look at all this grass. Look at these are attackers, so you can see Razor Leaf. What's really happening here? Abomasnow, Weeping Bell, Hitmonchan, Lugia, Altaria, Bronzong, Marowak, Noctowl again, Shiftry, Venusaur. So there it is. There are your leads. I will be leaving a link so you can go over this thoroughly yourself, see what you have on your team, possibly switch up moves. Don't do anything too drastic quite yet regarding switching moves and powering up Pokemon and all that stuff, because we still need to get the invites officially from the Silph Arena. So make sure you check out your email or log in to see that notification pop up with that invitation. Just feels like that the Mewtwo movie, you know, you're getting that invitation to go to the island to battle. What's happening here? Oh, no boat. We have to travel on our Pokemon. Okay. Anyways, so there you go. This is looking to be quite amazing, and wow, I just can't wait, guys. Very exciting. Up to this very moment we've been waiting for. So with that said, trainers, now do you see why I named this Medicham Future? Because it was going to be extremely useful for the future. So with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.